right, I originally planned on doing this a few weeks ago when it was a little bit colder and there was snow on the ground, and I kind of got caught up doing some other stuff, so here I am a few weeks later. So I like to do this more for myself to kind of document to see how I've grown in a year. So this is just kind of showing what the drop yard looks like starting 2026 and leaving 2025. Also gonna talk about some projects and stuff around here that I would like to do this year, and I did one of these last year. At the end, I will try and throw that video up with the clips so you can kind of see what did get done, what didn't get done throughout the course of last year. So I guess while I'm at the front here, I'll talk about kind of one of the first projects I want to get done. I don't think I mentioned this last year, but one thing I do want to do is with this gate. It's a 10-foot wide gate. I'd like to put a 12 or a 14-foot wide gate in up here, and plus move that back because it is kind of tricky getting trailers in, because that gate is only like 15 foot back from the road. So it'd be a little bit easier if the gate was a little bit wider and set back about another 10 foot. Then I would have a little bit more room, because to get a 20-foot trailer back in here, I have to swing over into the other ditch about to where that fence is. Kind of continuing working our way back. This pile of logs wasn't here last year. Had a really bad ice storm back in February, almost a year ago. So a lot of these logs are just going to be firewood. Some of them are millable. However, this really just needs to get cut up for firewood. A few of them will be left for the sawmill. I really want to get those cleaned up this winter. I still have some time left in the winter, but we'll just see what ends up getting prioritized. Working over here, this is just a fire pit that I blew leaves into a few weeks ago. Nothing crazy. Scrap metal pile that I said I wanted to get cleaned up. I'm more than positive I talked about that. This has just gotten a little bit bigger. This is going to get cleaned up before it gets hot outside, because I'd like to clean up some more of this, have a little bit more room to park some stuff around here. Then this little, I call it a pond. It's just really a hole in the ground that holds water. I dug it out a little bit deeper to get some fill dirt. Originally, I got some fill dirt to fill in the back of the yard, and then I just ended up digging out a little bit more. It's really just a habitat for frogs, and Moline likes to swim in it. But I got some extra fill dirt for some stuff that I may need for some other projects. All right, now we'll look at this barn here. So this barn here is I really just call it the storage barn. I really just store stuff in it. Nothing too crazy. It's an old barn. If I had to guess, was probably built sometime in the late 1800s, maybe early 1900s. There also used to be a shed over there, like right where the fire pit is, because it's on a stump from a tree that was growing up in the back of it. It really wasn't savable, so that's why it's no longer here. This barn, it's a little rough, but it does still store stuff. The barn itself, I would like to redo the lean-to on, because it's kind of falling over. I'd like to kind of preserve it because it's a cool part of history. So I'd like to redo this lean-to. Got a wall on the back. I'd like to close that wall back in, or maybe even make the wall a little bit smaller and make it so you can pull stuff in the back here. Right now I just got a couple garden tractors. This one I really just used to tow around this log splitter. I just fixed this. Nothing majorly wrong with it other than the tires don't really hold air. This doesn't really have anything majorly wrong with it. It just needs a battery because I keep moving it between stuff. Just got this Rubbermaid wagon over here, mostly just for hauling firewood. Back here, that garden tractor I really just primarily used to cut the grass around here in the summer. Got some extra lumber left over from the shop project. Some other just miscellaneous garbage, the mower deck to that Cub Cadet. I have a slide and some other stuff from a playground that I tore down on a job, a TV that doesn't work, some ramps, all kinds of miscellaneous stuff. That air compressor's junk. I need to get rid of that. That blew up on me this summer. That little Predator generator is how I get electricity for my shop. I know this was another big thing I talked about last year, was this pile of saw slabs. I wouldn't be surprised if it's bigger now. We did cut a bunch of stuff out of it. However, it's just still hasn't really got cut up yet. So I do want to get rid of those. This sawmill, which I made all the lumber to build that building off of that sawmill, that isn't mine. It's just set up over here, so I use it. Those were the old doors that were on the side wall of the shop. Those just need to get cut up and burned. Working back over here, I know this looks a lot different. Last year, pretty much the woods was up to that tree right there. I have since cleared. Actually, you know, I think I did have that cleared last year. Anyways, got in a nice new fire pit. Got some lights hung up. Got grass growing. So, nice hangout area. Those lights are a little low, need to be lifted up. But so this is what I call my shop. I know some people probably don't think much of it, but it's good for me. So I just added an addition onto the back end of it, but it is, I think, 14 or 15 foot wide and then 28 or 30 foot deep. So you can probably tell it's not super square. Like I said, I use sawmill lumber for it. It works for me for my application. It cost me really nothing but time to put this together. Okay, now working in the shop. The biggest thing in here right now is this side-by-side. It's been sitting in the background over there in the woods. I've had this thing for a long time. It's always had problems. I actually am working on a video for it right now. Just put a new cam, or a new crank cam, or is it a crank position sensor on it? And it's cranking. It'll run for about 5-10 seconds and die. I don't think I'm getting good fuel pressure. So I got to order, I think I'm just gonna order a new injector and a new fuel pump for it and see if that helps. This thing's always giving me problems. You know, I had a lot of fun with it when I was younger. You know, I crashed it into a tree and stuff, but it was pretty rough when I got it, so it's not really like I've done too much worse to it. So I'd like to get this running. It'd be good to haul firewood and stuff. Otherwise, this is the original part of the shop. Most of this looks the same. This shelf is in the same spot. That's gonna come down pretty soon. So it used to be 2 doors right there and 2 doors right here. So I took these 2 doors out, added this man door, ended up taking those 2 doors out, and then put in this 10 foot by 7 foot tall garage door. Then where this beam is, there used to be a wall, so all this back here is new. So I did a video where I dug in a swale, and in case anybody was wondering if the swale held up, it did not. So I need to address that pretty quickly. None of that wood's treated, so it's gonna start rotting. But I have my workbench that I can't really use because there's a lake under it. I have this Yukon toolbox. I got that like super cheap back in May. I think I picked it up for like $1.99 or something like that. Not the highest quality, but for the money, I mean, I really need more tool storage. So it works good for me. I've had this one for a few years now, my Craftsman. I mean, a couch, there's plenty of room. I've had my Xterra in here, a full-size SUV. Well, I guess I wouldn't really consider that a full-size SUV, but that SUV will fit in here, and then I still have all this room up here to hang out and work on stuff. I'd love to add a TV in this wall maybe, but this is the shop. Another thing, you'll notice it's pretty dark over here. That light right there used to just be good enough for this part. As you can see, I'm standing at what used to be the wall. It was pretty bright for just this part, but I am going to be doing some electrical in here pretty soon. So I've actually already got the panel. So I'm kind of sick of running the generator. It's annoying. I can't run too much stuff at one time. Like when I was building this, I couldn't run the air compressor with the lights on. Gonna run power over here. That's gonna probably get done sometime in the near future. I am not an electrician by trade currently, so I'm gonna need a little help on that one. But I've been working on getting material. Another big thing I want to do is there's a pretty good lip right there going into the shop door. My Xterra will go up it, but my Eclipse, my little car, I haven't even tried because I know it probably won't make it up that very easily. I want to get some gravel and do a nice gravel pad here, even going back behind this building a little bit up to that opening, and then plus out in the main drive as well. I got a buddy, he already said he'd haul it for me. I just haven't called him back because I've had other expenses that have been more important. So I want to get that done at some point. Grass is growing pretty good for being clay. What you think? I'm hoping 2026 will be a good year. Last year, you know, it's a little difficult. I just finished school, along with I had some other pretty unexpected stuff happen. I'm hoping this year doesn't have too many more surprises like that coming up. So 25 turned out pretty good. Hoping 26 will be even better. I got some big plans. I'm hoping to buy some machinery rather than rent so much. I really like to, like for an example, I'd really like to clean up this. This does not look very good. I just kind of cleared it with that excavator back in the late spring, early summer, just to get the room to have this addition in. Yeah, I got some more projects coming up. If there's anything that's super interesting and it seems like people would rather see more so than others, I will definitely be open to doing those first. Otherwise, I guess let's just hope for a good year. Hopefully a little bit better weather. Last year was just so rainy, it was hard to get anything done. That's part of the reason why it took me so long to do this addition, is it just rained all summer. All right, last two things I wanted to talk about were this car and that car. So I have this car, I finally was able to get plates and tags for it, even though it's not in the right state. Kind of a long story on this car, but this is just kind of my little beater project car. Nothing too crazy wrong with it right now. I pretty much daily drive it. And then this Xterra I did a video on. It's a good car. I do need to replace the PVC valve and replace the valve covers. After coming back from a trip, it started burning a bunch of oil, spitting from the valve covers. So those need to be replaced. I got the parts. I'm actually just getting ready to do this now. I don't think I'm going to show that. I really just need to get this one done. So otherwise, these are kind of the two beater dailies that I have, and they're both good cars. I like them. So I want to get this Xterra back to being good because I take this thing on some pretty long trips. This one, not so much. It has potential, but this is really just kind of my beater. Mamas, come on. All right, so I just picked up this thing. I bought it up north while I was up there over New Year's, so it's got a little bit of salt on it. I washed some of it off. I'm not exactly sure of the year on this. I'm not even going to try and guess. It seems pretty good. About the only thing I can find wrong with it, and it wasn't like this when I loaded it. Now I just took it pretty far. Is this that piece is supposed to be up like that? You can see where the welds broke. That's what it's supposed to look like. I just strapped it on the front through those holes, so I don't know if maybe it just was cracked and I didn't realize it and it sheared off. It was like 12 degrees when I was loading this. But overall, this thing's in really good condition. You know, it's got a little bit of paint peeling, but that one does too. All right, so since I got two of these now, kind of my idea is, this one's got some transmission problems. I think the tensioner is just not properly tensioning right, but it runs really good otherwise. And I use it all summer to cut grass. I just got to fix that tensioner. Not even a bunch, but just kind of use it around here to cut grass. Like all that. It doesn't look very green right now because it's middle of winter, but to kind of do yard maintenance here.